what's up? This is the final words before the fight. I think this plays out similarly to Errol Spence. Not as dominant as a victory. It's going to be a little bit tougher for Terrence Crawford because, again, of course, he's moving up weight classes and whatever else. Canelo's a little bit more well-rounded than Errol Spence Jr., but it's the same thing. Errol Spence is rated top 5 pound for pound. You know, at the time they fought, he was around that range. He was considered a top pound for pound fighter. You guys swore up and down. Spence had better defense, had this amazing jab. In this fight, we're kind of with the same type of narratives. Canelo's magical punch is this body shot punch. Not only has he not really been getting stoppages, but I don't think the body has been doing too much to people in these past performances as well. Just like I told you guys back then how Crawford was going to show you guys what a real jab is, I think Crawford's going to win the body punching element of this fight. Both guys are going to target each other's body from the beginning. Canelo's team, they're going to want to slow down Bud, but, for Crawford, it's the same deal. You know what I'm saying? I told you guys before, Canelo's more of a finesse guy. He needs to prove to everybody that he's this generic Floyd Mayweather. He's still got good upper body defense. He tends to be reactive and things like that. But when you're dealing with this guy, don't pay attention to his head and his upper body. Although Crawford got good practice with this awkward, weird movement from Madrimov, and he was timing it quite well, in my honest opinion. The jab was landing all night against Madrimov, even with all that awkward movement. But, especially in the early rounds when Canelo wants to bait you into his little foolish, Jaron in his boots does this too. This bullet time matrix nonsense. Don't even pay attention to the head. Pay attention to the body. You understand? While he's moving his head and doing all this dumb, goofy stuff, his body's going to be right there for you to hit. If he wants to sit there and look cool and try to dodge punches, you understand? The body's going to be right there. You understand? You hit him right there by his kidneys, whatever else. You understand? It's going to be available while he's doing all this dumb stuff with his head. The battle of basically, it's a mental game. It's not really as physical as people are making it out to be. This is the battle of the mind. And Terrence Crawford needs to understand, not only does he possess, God's given him all the tools he needs for victory. It's just that simple. But regardless of all that, you not only possess the boxing IQ, everything else, competitive nature. The feet are better for Terrence Crawford. This is still an overlooked point of this fight. You're not only the more pinpoint, accurate puncher, you understand, but you are a more strong-willed individual when it comes to the mental game. And this is your best advantage that you have over Terrence Crawford. Canelo, as we see, especially when he meets better boxers, this is when he tends to become a true Mexican fighter. But, when he's getting outboxed, all you got to do is land clean, to get past Canelo's poker face and poker game. He's just trying to intimidate you. He's trying to get you frazzled. Caleb Plant just this week came out. It was like yesterday, actually, and he said one of the craziest things about Canelo was the fact that he was very relaxed the entire time. And this is what I mean by the poker game, and it's mental. These guys, they get frazzled, they throw these little pity-pat shots, and they see it doesn't phase Canelo, and then they just back themselves in the ropes. And then Canelo comes, throws a haymaker to whatever he can land, whether it's the arms, the shoulders, the hips, whatever else. And they allow that type of tactic to kind of break them down and allow Canelo to really appear something that he's not. As I've said before on this channel, Canelo is a rattlesnake at the end of the day. He's more afraid of you than you are of him. There's nothing in Canelo's career that signifies that he is truly a confident fighter. He's never fought anyone on the playing field, even playing field. And when he does, he looks trash. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest here. I keep beating a dead horse when I make this statement. I've talked about guys like Lomachenko, everybody else as well, but Lomachenko, all these other guys, they did not require rehydration clauses, non-disclosure agreements, signing fights with guys while they were in trial for SAing a woman and even assaulting her dog as well, and getting caught hiding in the bushes. afterwards when he's already been arrested. Or, you know what I'm saying? Canelo's team is not very confident. They have to ensure victory before the fight. And that's when you truly get a confident Canelo fighter. Already Canelo's dealing with the fact that there's a lot of questions surrounding this. You're not draining a guy. Crawford told you no rehydration clauses, none of that nonsense. He's stepping to you as a true apex predator. And again, Canelo and their team, you guys were hit with the nostalgia bomb, seeing, Canelo turn to a tactic that he used against Triple G in the second fight. It did earn him the victory. But at the same token, once the round 7, 8, he started to really tire out, and he even got hurt in that fight versus Triple G. Triple G has slow hand speed. He's a bigger target. Like I said, very slow, doesn't have defense. Canelo's reprisals, even when he was getting caught with clean hard punches, he tends to like to do this. Let me reprise you with a looping haymaker, whether it's left or right hander or the right uppercut. He's stubborn when it comes to that. But how you break Canelo down mentally is what Crawford's going to do. Is you just need to land clean punches, dude. Let him and the crowd cheer with the shoulder punches, the hip punches, and whatever else. You just make sure you land clean on him and land clean all night. And he is going to get frustrated. He is going to, probably show us another episode of his roid rage like we've seen against guys like Bivol, whatever else. You know what I'm saying? He eventually is going to get mad. You can't let any of these factors affect you. You can't let the crowd affect you like you did at the weigh-in. Although I think it's going to work out in a positive way tonight. You know what I'm saying? They're going to cheer everything this man does. That's the whole point. They're all in on it. They're all in on this program. You understand? Canelo is like I said, you need the CG. There's a whole creative team behind this guy. When you watch a movie and you get to the credits and you see the credits are like 5 minutes long, you have lighting, you have makeup, you have costume, you have writers, you have the director and everybody else, everyone that's part of the team. Canelo requires this for every fight. He needs the CG guy. He needs the lighting. He needs, even the way he dodges punches, he dodges as if this is a movie, like it's some sort of photo op. It's all about appearances with Canelo. When it comes to actual effective, clean scoring blows, you understand, you have a significant edge against Canelo Alvarez in that regards. You just got to land clean and he'll break little by little. You understand? You're going to have to pick and choose when to go after Canelo. And again, just like a Bivol, when to retreat. This is the sport of boxing. Boxing is not running. I know you guys want Crawford, just like Shakur Stevenson, to stand there trading and get punched. You know what I'm saying? They only do this to black fighters, black American fighters at that. But you guys never cared about, other guys who used to box. Even though Machinko, he would take a long time. This is why he lost to guys like Salido and Teofimo Lopez. But he's not really doing nothing the first 6 rounds. He's given a lot of those rounds away. And I don't hear the same type of criticism. I don't hear the same type of energy. And I don't see that you guys hold other fighters to the same standard as you do fighters like Shakur, Floyd Mayweather, and Terrence Bud Crawford. You understand? But it's all, for the most part, smoke and mirrors. Does Canelo have some good skill? Should you still treat Canelo as if he's the best fighter? Yes. And this is another thing that Crawford, this is why he's such a great professional. Doesn't matter who he's fighting. It could be Avenusian. It could be Mean Machine. Everybody thought Mean Machine, was just this bum. They called him green beans and everything else. Here today, I'm hearing that guys like Boots have ducked Mean Machine. They don't want no part of Mean Machine, and I wish I could see more of Mean Machine fight the Errol Spences and everybody else. But boxing, again, has been this fake it till you make it sport, with, of course, it's King Canelo being the fakest and most assisted of them all. I know you guys don't like truth, but the truth is the truth. You understand? But, again, he lands, he throws his little hard shots. They make loud thudding sounds, block them, do what you got to do. Don't try to parry so much, only when it's opportunistic. Don't duck like Billy Joe Sanders. You don't need to duck. You just got to move with your footwork, which is vastly superior to Canelo Alvarez at this point as well. The Lord our God has given you all the tools to Crawford that he needs for this victory. It's just that simple. Are you going to have faith in that? And are you going to go out there and do what you normally do? You're only going to fail if you lose in the mind. That's what this game has gone down to. You have a better six shooter. You have a better shotgun. You got a Benelli semi, auto shotgun. You understand? Benelli M4, which I have, and it's a very nice weapon, by the way. But, your sharpshooting skills, your marksman, you're better all around. The only thing is the guy's bigger than you. But this is a guy who's needed victory to be handed to him. This is a guy who's needed assistance upon assistance. It's going to showcase in the skills. As long as you don't mentally fold, you will win this fight. It's just that simple. You understand? Now, like I said, there's going to be adversity. Canelo is in his position. People in their type of positions, they don't want to lose their position, especially when he has 2 or 3 other fights signed with Turkey, Al-Sheikh or whatever his name is, okay? So for these people, again, they've tried to invert this world, and they tried to make Crawford the bad guy. They tried to make Crawford the weight bully. They tried to make Crawford the steroid cheat. They tried to make Crawford the guy who needs judges and tampering his gloves and everything else. That in itself tells you exactly how these people truly know, whether they want to admit it or not. This is just a battle really against yourself, Terrence Crawford. This isn't even really a battle versus Canelo Alvarez. Plenty of guys have shown that skill-wise he's inferior. Guys like Laura, even Danny Jacobs, round 7 and 9 again. Danny Jacobs was switch hitting on Canelo, landing some beautiful left hooks. We just saw in the promotional material from Team Crawford, that left hook is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of compact. It's not necessarily about the power. It's delivering a clean, effective shot. You understand? You don't have to destroy this guy with one punch. You know what I'm saying? You just got to beat him moment to moment. And Canelo's going to have his moments. You're going to have to deal with that adversity as well. And again, the weigh-in, we saw that he was affected by the crowd and things like that. But you can use the crowd as your instrument and shut them up tonight. You know what I'm saying? When you're sitting here displaying to everybody things that they can't comprehend. It's just that simple. Their minds are going to be shocked and blown away. But I do expect a pretty good competitive fight up to about 6th, 7th rounds. Once it gets to the 8, the 9, the 10, 11, and 12, and Crawford has not succumbed, Crawford has a very good chance of not only beating Canelo Alvarez, you understand, but if he can get Canelo to those ropes, we just saw Steven Nelson today, same thing happened to him. He just took too many shots on the ropes, and he was getting caught with a lot of clean punches, things like that. Ref stopped it. You understand? This is what they do today. They probably will give Canelo the more benefit of the doubt, but Crawford, again, unlike a GGG in that 10th round when he hurt Canelo, Crawford's a far better finisher. He's also can juggle opponents. He can land, at a 6-punch combination, he can land 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? At a 10-punch combination, he can land around 8. You understand? He keeps his spacing. He doesn't smother his work and things like that. Crawford has, in all actuality, this is a mismatch. The only thing that is so, intriguing about this match, again, is Canelo's size. And this production, this cinematic universe has led you to believe that he's here easily beating guys like Kovalev and everything else, and he's just this ridiculous power puncher. Again, expect the best Canelo, no doubt, but at the end of the day, I think, just like the Errol Spence fans, they're going to be shocked. They won't even be able to comprehend what just happened. And I see something similarly, although Canelo is going to give a better fight than Errol Spence. That's all I really got to say for now as far as final words. We'll just see how it goes tonight, and we'll see you guys later. I'll talk to you later. Bye.